Continuing from step 21. This time we're going to make the main body of the car using a tool we call sweep. In this case, sweep 2. But before we do, I just wanted to explain to you guys a little bit how to use the sweep tool. Sweep lives on the surface. You have sweep 1 rail or sweep 2 rails, or you can type it in and you'll see what it does. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about sweep 1 first. I'm going to draw a profile, one simple profile, enter, and then let's say I wanted to create a surface that follows this profile, and the surface also has a specific shape. I'm going to go to the top view and draw the surface that I want. Let's say the surface might look like this, enter. Okay, so I have this curve. I wanted to create, I'm going to go to perspective view so you can see. I wanted to create a surface that follows this profile and has the shape. Now sweep 1 would be the best tool to use. You can click it right on the surface, or you can just type sweep 1, enter. Then it asks you to select your rail. This is my rail. Immediately asks you to select your cross section. This is my cross section, and then you hit enter. Okay, so these are the default. I usually use road like top for this one, or freeform. Either one of these would work, and you can immediately see my preview, and the rest I usually leave it blank and I'll click on sweep. Now you see what just happened. I swept that curve along this profile to create a surface that follows this profile, and using this curve as my shape. So sweep 1, really straightforward, simple, a very nice tool to use. So just remember, you need a profile and a cross section. Okay, cross section, profile. You type sweep 1, select your profile, select your cross section, hit enter. Freeform or road like top, either one of these works really nice, but I think in this case freeform and then sweep, you have what you wanted. Okay, I'm going to undo this and then talk about sweep 2. Sweep 2 is in case you have 2 rails. Instead of 1 rail, you have 2 rails. I did a rail right here, and then let's just say it's, you know, a profile of a bottle, some type of bottle, and then I'm gonna need 2 rails. So the easiest way, I'm just gonna mirror this rail. So it's very important when you do your mirror, you mirror from the end point. Okay, mirror, and then now I have 2 rails. Okay, now I'm gonna create some cross sections that connects these 2 rails. I already did, so I'm just going to turn it on. I have some circles. I can go to the perspective view so you can see it. I have some circles that connects these 2 rails or are touching these 2 rails, and these are my cross sections. Now in this case, I'm going to use sweep 2. I can type it, sweep 2. The first thing it asks me to do, of course, is always the rail. Rail number 1, rail number 2 immediately ask you to select your cross section. I'm going to select my cross section and then click on enter or done and see. So one aspect of this type of sweep is very important when you do the sweep 2. You want to make sure all the directions are oriented the same way. For example, these 4 are in the same way. This one is oriented the other way. If you do a sweep, it will twist the neck of the bottle. So you want to make sure that they are all same direction. So I think I should just do it so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me go back to perspective view and hit enter. And you can see right now where these crosses right here, because what it did was it twisted the neck, and you can see it right here. Instead of giving you, because one direction, one arrow was going one direction, the other were going the other direction, this is what it ended up giving me. So this is not what I want. Let me undo it and then go back to sweep 2 so you can see. So rail number 1, rail number 2, cross section 3, 5, enter. So once again, I'm going to go to the front right view first to check. Okay, to flip the direction, it's really simple. Just bring your cursor around this, click on it, and you can flip it. So they are all lining up the same way. I'll go also to the front view, make sure they're all lining up. Also go to the top view, make sure they're all lining up. Once everything is good, you really good, you just hit enter, and then this do not simplify. The rest you can just leave it as is and sweep. Now you can see it's not like what it was the first time. Okay, so sweep to really nice, but there's a problem. My bottle is not closed. I have a hole on the bottom. You can see it right here. Okay, how do you fix that? Well, let's go back one more step and do it again. Okay, so I'm gonna go sweep to, select rail number 1, rail number 2. Now this time, you see where it says point? I'm gonna click that and tell the sweep that I want to close my whole thing at this point, right where the two rails are meeting. That's where I really want to close my sweep. So I'm going to tell it this is the point where I want to close it, and now it's asking me to select the cross section. I'm going to select the 5 cross sections that I had earlier and then hit enter. Okay, of course, making sure always all the directions are aligned, all the same. Front view, they're all the same. Top view, all the same. That's good. I'm going to go back to perspective view, click on enter, and then sweep. Now you can see I swept it, and I can look underneath. It's closed at this point because what it did was it took this circle and kept sweeping the circle until it becomes a point right where the two rails are meeting. Okay, so sweep to, very good tool, very clean, and also efficient in terms of drawing complex shape. You can see here it's semi-simple, but you can get as complex as you want with sweep to. And it's my favorite tool. I recommend all of you, anytime you have a complex shape, try to figure out how you can create the rails, try to figure out using sweep to, and then do your cross sections, and you can have something really good. Okay, so now you understand how to use sweep to. I'm gonna move on to step 21, and then we can continue on our tutorial.